Hey there, welcome back. Marius here, and today we have Starfield and 30 tips and tricks, advanced. Why advanced? So I tried to pick out the ideas and points and some things I wish I knew sooner that I haven't found in any other videos. Some of them, of course, there are. I will admit, not everything is unique, but I'll put emphasis on what I found most valuable. And of course, down in the description, all of them, and I have all the timestamps. Of course, I'll try to cut the video as short as possible, so there will be a lot of cuts. I hope you don't mind. The first is not there, but first tip and trick is I will emphasize once again, you need to go until the main story and finish into unknown. Then basically you will have full captured essence of the game, and it helps. It definitely helps for all other things you will do, so do not get sidetracked. All right, tip number 2: general stores and miners. What about them? Let me show you quickly. This is quite important. This is not your average Joe, but resources. They sell resources, and for absolutely cheapest money. For example, adhesive, absolutely needed for upgrades, membrane, sedative, spice, everything. Do you need anything? Titanium, for example? This guy has it, and of course neon and all the things basically you can imagine. This particular vendor, I'm gonna show you where it is. It's not far, there's no spoilers, anything. So New Homestead, this is on Titan, this is the planet, and it is in solar system right next to Alpha Centauri. So why I want to show you the main planet you start the game is, you will find that there will be mining outpost. The mining outpost, there will be provisionists. A lot of things you find, even in randomly generated structures, sometimes they are abandoned, not abandoned, but mines or mining outposts. There is a guy or girl that is provisionist. They sell ore. Don't just skip. If you need, you will find after a while what kind of resources you're really lacking. And this is the fastest and easiest way to get it. Absolutely cheap. You get all the resources. Otherwise, you need to travel all across the whole galaxy. Just go in one store, purchase everything. I can't stress enough how that is way easier than mine or try to set up all the outposts to get all the things you need. Tip number 3: bench 48 hours. You might say, hey, but that's only 11 adhesive. What to do with this? Simple as that. After you purchase everything or you need that resource more, find the closest bench, chair, box as well, sit down and wait, or sleep, though both options lead to the fast forward time. What you need is not local hours, 38 hours, but you need these hours, the actual time. You see, this is almost there, so this is the amount you just wait. It's barely few seconds something, and the trader will have fully reset the inventory. Either you want to sell, either you want to buy. This is the way to do it. Simple as that. Use and abuse, and then you can purchase again or sell again. Tip number 4: best ship 60 plus. And actually, that's not only regarding ships, but in the game, I wish I knew it sooner. The items, the higher level you get, the more it's unlocked. It's not shown immediately, and I will just show you an example. I am level 70, and for example, I can purchase this reactor. It's not special, it's not the location. It's basically game will not show you this item. Well, 40 power generated. I think that's the highest I have seen so far. So don't just think you miss or there's some secret location. Basically, the faster you level up, the faster you will get more powerful weapons, more armored gear, better parts for your ship, better ship weapons. It all comes basically down to your level. Tip number 5 is how items are basically the tiers, right? So we have the basic that has nothing in front of it. Then we have calibrated, refined, advanced, and there's one more: superior. Superior is not written for weapons, but exactly the same principle, and for these outfits, the armor. For armor, there are superior. So there is some mistakes and confusion. I found on Reddit someone mentioned that for weapons you can find advanced and advanced, but actually this advanced has way higher damage. So somehow they have it mixed up. So superior weapons you can find, but actually there is a tier. And just for notice, you can see absolutely I have all 4 variants of the same weapon, no upgrades. You see how much differs the damage. What it means, if you find a weapon, let's say calibrated with a lot of additional perks or something, just keep in mind that there is advanced version with the same weapon. Even if it's just white, it will have, as you can see, at least twice as much damage with all the upgrades on top of it. That's just, yeah, common knowledge. Advanced and superior, those weapons and backpacks and everything, you want to hold on. You don't want to sell them because the basic ones are the cheapest and these are the advanced versions. All right. Tip number 6, ship power balance. If you pay attention, when you are in the builder mode, there is in the corner those 2 numbers. One is how much power your core can produce, depends on the level and everything. That's the how much you can get. At the first you will not have 40. And then more important is equip power, which means how much, if you boost up all the systems at once, how much basically it eats. And as you can see, if there is no balance, for example, in my case, I lack 12 points, which means 2 bars will have only half filled, which means, of course, you can adjust, sacrifice a little bit speed and get more guns. But honestly, when you are in a fight, as far as I can tell, it's always a surprise and you have little to no time to adjust those settings. So you want your shield to be maxed, you want your weapon to be ready. You don't want to just stand there, you want some speed. And if you need to adjust all the time, this ground jump, the space jump thing, it's getting annoyed quite quickly. So the closest those 2 numbers you get, that means don't equip all the possible weapons as crazy as I did, because I don't have power to have them fully operational. So I can easily get rid of 2 of them, get smaller drive, they are weight less, so I'm more speedy, it's about the balance. Tip number 7, pirates, credits for pirates. So after you finish a fight, if that's a friendly, they will ask you how they can repay. You can pick up only salvage rights, so you can get the loot from them or just extra parts. I'd say always pick credits. Why? Because when you pick credits, you can still salvage them. No one will be angry about it. And from the salvage, you will get the repair parts. So this is the best out of all options, in my opinion, because the credits, remember, you can purchase everything. So you need those credits. Tip number 8, balance or skip. This is regarding the jetpacks that you can have. And there are 4 options. Well, 5th is there is no jetpack at all, but of course I am advising to pick up skip capacity boost pack, that's the full name, or balance is way better, it's just balanced out. And there's, for example, there's power boost pack that absolutely skyrockets you, then you're coming slamming down and you will have broken ankle all the time. And the basic is there's not enough power. So try to stick with those 2. Of course, test out. You will find all the variations. Test out. In different gravities, there are some strengths and weaknesses showing up. But so far, I found balanced and skip is the best to roll with. Tip number 9, always jump. And I'm showing this in New Atlantis, so you can see I'm having now skip jetpack. It means when you run, you see on that side of the screen, there my oxygen is running out. What happens when you jump is it basically resets. Let me show you what you can do. You first jump, then you have jetpack, and while you land, oxygen already regenerated partially, if not fully. If you have lower gravity planets, it will regenerate. Well, lower gravity planets is not the problem, but it works for any gravity whatsoever. When you run, and you will have to run a lot, then basically all the time jump and use your jetpack, like just learn the rhythm so you land as less often as possible, fewer times as possible. So basically the most time you are in the air, you are moving forward at the same speed, but you basically are conserving and regenerating oxygen. I'm just showing how it works so you understand. So basically anytime, every time, it basically on the planets, on the cities, everywhere it works, because once you run out of the oxygen, well, it's not great, you know. Tip number 10, don't overpower your companion. If you're thinking, wait, what? So that's exactly what I said. I'm showing you what weapons I have. It doesn't matter, but just pure numbers. DPS, the best DPS weapon I have, damage per second, I have 600. Look what my companion has. Almost 3000 DPS. So this is totally opposite. And you might think, well, what's the problem? Your companion helps. What if I told you the base game is set up, if your companion kills enemy and you haven't shot it a single time, you don't get XP. And especially at the beginning of the game, you get companion really fast. At least one of them is coming with you all the time. So if you haven't hit, the actual default is 25% of the damage you have to do to enemy to get that XP. So you see, if you overpower your companion, there will be a lot of kill steals. And if you're thinking, well, I can mod it, no, actually you can't. There is no way to bypass it. You have to shoot at least one, you have to deal at least 0.01%, so that's one hit. But if you never hit enemy and your companion just blasts someone in the horizon, all that XP is lost. You don't want that, especially in the early game. Tip number 11, small chests don't link. Do I need to say more? When you build your outpost, this is the small chest, that's a possibility to build them. It's quite, well, cheaper to build, let's say. And while you don't have resources for the big containers, they are way more, well, bigger, but the problem is they are not linked. If you open your workbench, whatever, nothing that you put in these boxes actually work. That's why I have them all empty, and now I have moved all the resources outside, so now you know. Tip number 12, register your ships from menu. So this is the menu which you open up, then you can open your ship thing, and if you have noticed at the top, you can cycle through your ships. For example, your Frontier, probably you're on it currently. But what the game doesn't tell you is, you see, this one is unregistered. If I want to sell or modify it, I need to register. You can do it right here. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit on front of it. I'm on the side. You see, we have a button here, register. This register through this menu without speaking anyone is cheaper than if you go to the technician and say, hey, I want to register a ship. Somehow, for whatever reason, it's way expensive. So this is easier. You can do it anywhere, everywhere, and it's even cheaper. How cool is that? I'm gonna put myself back. Tip number 13, go for damage per bullet. And it's across the Fallout universe, basically Bethesda game, universal knowledge, but let me share it with you. You have a weapons and everyone tells you to spread across and use different bullets because you will run out. Go for damage per bullet. Every weapon has two or three I think total that impacts the thing I'm talking about. One is the magazine. There is later on you can get magazine that you can see that the damage, the just pure damage from one shot, that you can boost it up with, of course, this one. Then it comes to internal. You want to have, for example, I want this high powered, I don't have skill yet. That's why I have currently hair trigger. But the thing is, you see, I trade off fire rate to get more damage per shot. And the last one is receiver. I can go fully automatic. You see how drastically I lose damage per bullet, but I will shoot a lot of bullets. And it's a simple thing. the more rate you have and less the physical damage per second might be higher, but you will spend a lot of bullets. I'm running with all my weapons semi-automatic, as much damage as possible per one bullet, and you know what? Where can I show you? Can I show you? I should be able to show you just from the weapons. What I have? 7,000 rounds, 6.7 thousand rounds, and this is late acquired, never basically used, also 6,000. I have thousands of most of the weapons. I will never ever run out of the bullets because they do as much damage as possible, so as little as bullets needs to be spent, and you will never run in that problem with ammo. Tip number 14, sleep. I can't stress it enough. I haven't seen it anywhere. It's just amazing how dumb it is. And no, stop it. Let me show you why. Right next to my captain's cabin, I have place to sleep in the bed. Reason is not that stupid XP. It's absolute pointless. There is a XP farm. It's simple. XP is not the problem. The thing is, you get your health back. Wherever you find somewhere to sleep, you get health back. And there's an option. There's a stupid, silly option. You can have med pack that 500 values. It gives you 4 times 9, 36% of your health. So basically, to get full health back, you need 3 of them. That costs 1,500 if you're crazy enough. If you can pull through the fight, just come back to the ship. You will constantly be in your ship. Just press E again. It's literally done. You have full health. Am I done? Not even close. This also removes burns, sprayed ankles, a lot of additional things that you might be stressed around and running and just find an antibacterial things, whatever, the aid. I bring none of that shit. Almost all of them can be just cured by purely sleeping. There are some radiation and some other things that you can't cure like that. I know. That's the thing. But sleep is, and of course you will have constant that XP also on top of it. But health getting back for absolutely free. And then, of course, healing a lot of things and never ever worrying about anything. Tip number 15. On top of the previous, when you have those afflictions or something that you can't cure, you have full health. Seek a doctor, seek a help. In every major city, in every outpost, basically, there are a lot of them. And honestly, those afflictions that you can't cure by sleeping, some of them, oh no, you can't hit someone that strong with the melee damage. Or they're minor as far as I saw. They're absolute minor. You can run missions of 3 or 4 or 7 with them. They do not no harm. And once you got near the doctor, just click, hey doc, can you help me out? By the way, it also helps if you don't want to go back to the sleep. This healing, the full health, costs $400, and removing afflictions altogether, I once came back from crazy mission, it cost me 900. It is still almost double the amount if I purchased or used those med packs or something. This is the reason why I have 184 with me, because I basically don't use them. I sleep and then once in a while I visit the doctor. No problem whatsoever. Tip number 16. Skip loading. There are many complaints about the loading. Let me show you and basically how I'll teach you how to do it. I am currently landed on somewhere. I can bring up the map. I can go out of that planet, go out of that system. Let's go on the main base, go to the other total system, bring out another planet. Don't go there with X or whatever. Open up the destination and you see with one click. The worst case scenario, I could, without running, I could fast travel back to your ship, spend time sitting in the chair, taking off, flying to other system, landing on the planet, that would be 5 load times. And actually, once you've been in the things, and trust me, you will be running back and forth to a lot of places you've been already. So always go in precision down to the point where you need to go, and then basically one loading screen and you're there. Trust me, it's way simpler, and there's no problem with loadings as much as people say. Of course, there are loadings in the shops, and it is a bit annoying, but hey, we can mitigate it. Tip number 17, abuse landing, and I'll show you again how to do it. You have your ship, of course, you can store in your ship a lot more than in your inventory. What you want to do time after time, despite this fact I have a lot of things, you take everything from your ship, that's step number 1. Then, of course, you go back and put back ship parts. You know, don't need them. But what the problem is, I have inventory, I have the mass way more than I can carry. That's cumbersome, you know, you can't run, it's a problem. So what you do next is that store of your ship is always next to your navigation thing. So you don't need actually to sit down. I made a mistake, sorry, I'm gonna get up. And as soon as you get full things on you and you are too heavy, you are in the ship. So what you can do, you can abuse landing. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. It means wherever you pick from the location, this is an excellent example, a lot of locations, you don't need to land in spaceport and start traveling with a lot of heavy things on you. You can pick exact same thing. For example, if you know where the vendor is the closest, and just land. What it means currently, you again skipping few steps and you land right where you want to land. And actually, I'm going to use an opportunity and this abuse landing tip, I will align it with abuse lodge container. So what we did just now, as you can see, I'm running, I'm full speed running. I am getting into the lodge, not much of a thing, you will get there in no time. This is where the quest starts. And here at the bottom in the basement, where I just showed you, when it's opened, you see I haven't used my even full oxygen. What you can do, you can of course open up and just dump, well, you will need a few extra things to be able to dump as oh, I'm not dumping, I'm picking up. Silly me. Anyways, this is sorry for that. Yeah, I have 1.2 tons with me. So this is where you can dump without any limits. This is the container in lodge, everyone knows about it. There are other storage places where you can get things, but the thing is, while you are here, you can easily dump all the things you don't need and basically fast travel back to your ship, or even better, straight to the base or wherever you were coming from. So you see, my inventory is more than free and open because I dumped everything in the lodge container. Abusing landing and abusing container, easy as that. Tip number 19 is ignore contraband. And yeah, before you start screaming, I'll show you how to deal with it, but I also will show you why you want to ignore it. Where was it? Damn it. All the valuables. You see, I have some of them. So I'll show you quickly how quickly depends, but basically what you want to do is open up the map. Let's say the same lodge will do, for example. I am currently in my possession, I have contraband. What you want to do is go to the planet. Come on, open the planet view. And here, basically, when you have contraband on it, it doesn't allow you to land. Why? Because obviously you have to be scanned. I don't have any shields, that bullshit, that also is pure bullshit, that's random. Once you enter the area, they start, I'm gonna scan you. What you do, you open up a screen. You still can't land here, but you know what? Hey, what if I land just there? The thing is, you don't need any thrusters, anything. It's immediately cut off. There is no penalty. No one will judge for you. Nope. there is no scanning happening. But what is happening, you can land absolutely on the same planet, and this is actually outpost that is always there, that I previously mentioned. I can actually show you both of the provisioner, two provisioners. You can purchase a lot of ore from them. Do you know what? They have this little box, and I have been just dumping these things right here. And as I am dumping, it's not stealing. I can anytime just come back and pick them up. Not going to do that. Instead, getting rid of all the bad things, all the contraband is here. Now I'm contraband free. What you want to do is go back up and now travel once again without any loading to your ship, sitting, taking off. You just land on the same thing, and that now they again start scanning. Now they scanned me, I have nothing on me. What can you do now? You see, now it's open for you to just do whatever you want. Of course, what you want is, you know what? I just left a little package here, and I'm not entering in space in the area. I have been scanned, I have been cleared. What stops you to land once again? Don't do that often. That's why I am dumping all the contraband here, and after a while, when you get bored, you can't. You see, there is an option, steal or transfer. If you press E, it will count as stealing, besides the fact that's my item. So what you want to do is open up everything. Still, you can steal by individual items, but press T and gather them all. So now I just recollected all the things that belong to me. No one attacks you. That was my mistake. So now back to main thing before the next point. What I want to show you is at the start, when you start the game, this contraband, it's a lot of times mentioned, and everyone shows that you need to these hidden cargo places, you know, and then the scanner jammers and all the things, and it's so complicated. At the end, you can't have 100% basically be secure that you will not be caught. Once you are caught, there's a lot of problems. So what I'm going to show you now is, first of all, I'm gonna dump, under which items is it? Oh, I'm gonna dump those absolutely valuable things in my overall container. Now, in my storage box, I'm gonna show you, if I open up my storage value, now later in the game, and order, you see what's the most valuable? Weapons. White weapons. I have 7 of them. I can move around with them easily, no problem. And then, I have this tech. I have 2 items. They are quite heavy. I have just white weapons. They are more valuable. Let's find the least valuable contraband thing. Black market antiquities. I have, you see, just a random weapons is way more valuable than this thing. Let me see what happens if I order by value versus the mass. They are not even there. So there is almost no point of getting involved in contraband shit whatsoever, because it's way problematic, way more just tooth pain than just randomly kill enemy, pick his item and go to the store and sell it off. That's why I'm saying, yeah, avoid, ignore contraband. At the absolute beginning, when you don't have such high levels, some contraband might be useful with the trick I showed you. Otherwise, mid to end game, just forget about the shit. Just drop out this item, just delete them. Tip number 20, and this is, I can't show you, but exploration is rewarded. And what I mean by that is, especially where we have handcrafted areas, not just randomly generated, then if you find a door that is open but something is required, or there's a battery, or you can climb in somewhere, or cut some doors open, or climb somewhere up, there most of the time you will find some things, and especially at the start it's some weapon and credits and more loot is, well, really awesome. But basically generally through the game I feel the same emphasizes. If there is something there and you can find a way to bypass it, there will be some loot, higher level or lower level. The same, you know, blue items are quite good or epic, so don't skip it, don't just run through, otherwise those quests are quite dull, but this exploration is quite amazing still. I highly advise it. Tip number 21 is look for magazines. Always look for magazines. I can't show you right on the screen, I tried, but this is the end room for the structures. There always is the tunnel path that you go through the enemies. At the end is boss or basically final room, and you can identify that by some weird looking science crate. There's always loot in it and always some goodies around, and I can download a planet date and something. And close to that final stage, it's not early in the structures, there is magazines, kind of like folder but with a cover photo and something. They give permanent boost, and there is written, and everyone says that no, it's only on hand-picked structures, but I strongly believe I have found some magazine in randomly generated those structures. For example, this building, I have been there on other planets. They basically copy-paste exactly the same layout, but the random appearance of magazines, I might be wrong, but anyways, you always want to look for surfaces. Magazines are not stacked. I haven't found any magazine in container. They're always on top of shelf, table, coffee table, something like that. And once you mouse over it, you will immediately recognize, because it says, hey, you have permanent damage to bullet weapons, you have permanent increase of carry capacity and such things. Look out for those. Tip number 22, remove module and kill. And this is regarding all the robots you will find. And I know it's the idea is you can turn them against the enemies, but you know what? That's free XP and loot. So what you do is find the closest computer. There's always right next to it. It's a bit bugged, it should be in there. So this is where you go. Remove combat inhibitors. Okay, it's not a module, but inhibitor, to be precise. Once you remove, basically, they attack everything and everyone. Even among themselves, they will fight, but if you're the last standing, obviously. So once removed the combat inhibitor, now you activate it, and what happens, you go out and oh no, it's hostile. Boom. I think I haven't made any shots, so I don't have XP, but hey, there is a pretty good loot, and that's what you can do with all the robots in the game. Well, this console appears. Tip number 23, easy, but of course always aim for head. In this game especially, I basically found 2 enemies. I'll try to do that. What happens when you shoot in the head? They are staggered. In that time, actually, it's more than enough to absolutely destroy them. There's one more. I'll try to show you. The stagger is the thing I want to highlight. Where are you? Where are you, enemy? Somewhere below, or even one deck below. Anyways, you saw already how it happens. So the staggering part, it can be triggered with any enemy, all the enemies. I think even with the robots. If we remove the previous step again and come back, wherever is your head. Nah. Yeah, anyways, it's dead. So aim for head, always extra damage, and stagger is absolutely amazing. Tip number 24, red center detects the bugs. I can't show you the bug because I haven't found that at this moment, but here is the thing. You see, when I am aiming with the laser, of course you know that you need to hold the right mouse button, then it shoots better, but what no one else mentions is when you aim at the resource, you see, it has this red thing in it. Once it's mine, it's again white. and that is all fine and cool, but the thing is to eliminate the frustration. Sometimes you will find a node, you just run around and oh, it's a node, and you try just to get that, and it's not gathering. And there are some of those veins kind of bugged. They are in the hill, and in a quest line there will be a thing where you need to collect from, and you can't understand is it collected or not. So this red rectangle actually helps a lot, because if it's white, then none of this can be gathered. I'm explaining a little bit vague, but you see how the color changes, and basically if you have something collect, it's red, it's not. It's simple as that. Just minor thing, but absolutely, yeah, annoying when you try to gather bugged vein, it's not collecting. Yeah. Tip number 25, unlock the next stages, and it is regarding the science and all the skill points you can unlock. So the thing is simple. You put a point in there, and there are 4 stages for everything, and you see, to unlock next stage there is some kind of requirement, minigame if you will. For example, here in geology I needed to have harvest resources 20 times. The thing is, I have collected already 20 times, and you see it's 20 out of 20. The thing is, it does not account for more. So if I'm not leveling up this skill, and if I'm intend to, of course, if I'm not leveling it up, once I click a point, I actually can click a point and show you. And let me save it so I'm not ruining my game. This is my original, my only game. So if you put a point, you see, now it only now unlocks the next. Okay, now I have exactly the same challenge. It's always the same thing, just more things for across a board. Now 50. So I have collected hundreds of mines with hand. None of them counted because you need to put a point, only then it unlocks the next thing. I hope I explained good enough, because if you missed, for example, there is a skill you need to kill somewhere enemy ships. I have it unlocked, I think, yeah. Kill enemy ships, 5 ships, and you enter an area, there are 6 ships. So what you need to do is kill those 5, and as soon as it's unlocked, immediately put a point, so that 6th one is not wasted. I hope that explains enough. And while we are on the topic, tip number 26, min-max carefully. What it means, all the points, all the skills have 4 levels. And I'm gonna show you a few things. For example, piloting. If you open up, first 2 items actually are quite garbage. Have never used thrusters, absolutely pointless, nothing. But rank 3 and 4 are crucial to have. So you want all those points. So what I'm trying to explain here, not all of those ranks are equal. There are some cases where they're absolute linear thing. Let me open, I don't know, just the same commerce, for example. Buy less, sell for more, and then increased by basically gradually. No difference whatsoever. There are some points. But let me show you some other things. For example, I don't know, the same. There was few points where for example, the same boost pack. You can't use this jetpack if you don't have rank 1. But the thing is, the next uses less fuel and regenerates more quickly. None of them unlock as big thing as the first things. And similarly is for zoology, for botany. You have to put at least 1 point, and basically the rest of that increases how good it is, but to unlock, to get most out of it, is only 1 thing. So what I'm trying to say is, a lot of these areas, you don't want to just put 4 points and think now it's the best. One good example is outpost management. First rank unlocks cargo links. You have limited 3, now I have, I don't know, 4, 5. But this is crucial. Next point, I can get more robots. I haven't built any, and I'm not intending to do that. I can additionally crew, don't need, and extractors twice as fast. No, actually they are at full limit, so none of these actually makes sense, but this one is absolutely the best. So min-max, but be careful with the points where you put. They are not all equal, so look what you need and absolutely skip what you don't. The 26, no, 27, Pickpocket from behind. And I'm really furious when I've seen a lot of YouTubers like saying, did you know that you can just, while the guy is looking at you, just open a pickpocket, even if you're detected? Now, if you are successful, nothing will happen. If he caught you, it's the same as from behind. But look at the percentage. The chance of you stealing, me stealing those items, 40%. Look what happens if I'm behind and he doesn't see me. So there is absolutely no reason to steal just in plain sight. Of course, if there's no other choice, two guys are looking at each other, of course you can take your chances, but otherwise, no, there is benefit of not being seen. Okay, simple as that. So point number 28, I had to change it just briefly because originally I read that no, when you die you immediately basically lose all the XP that you have gained thus far, so basically resetting the level. So I tested it a few times and not quite sure that's entirely true, because see, I have 1436 experience. So if I die by those, you know, maybe not the greatest idea, come in their home and just attack them. So when you die, you are being loaded back to the previous save. That's why you need to save often. Quick save, F5 for PC gamers. And now putting in a test, you are just being loaded, so death does nothing. You see, I'm loaded back way before, nothing progressed thus far, and I have 1436 XP still. Absolutely no change. So if you save often, the game penalizes you nothing, so it's absolutely easy, yeah, to do. So that leads me to the next point. Give me a second. We'll go in one go. Is very hard difficulty. This is something I definitely basically failed myself. Let me get in the ship. I don't want to be eaten, but this is regarding options. Simple as that. I'm gonna show you so you are aware what we are talking about. There are difficulty settings in the game, under gameplay, and the thing is, if you read carefully, all difficulty levels, damage, enchants, encounter legendary enemies. That I found in many places, also in the internet, because looking for the answers. Yes, enemies will be spongier, they receive more damage, you will be receiving a lot of damage, so that fight is way more, let's say, hard. But the thing is, the more legendary enemies, remember, when enemies have the red bar beneath them, they have better loot than white. Basically, all other trash enemies, despite the aliens or humans or whatever they are, they basically drop nothing useful. Of course, the white weapons you saw also sell very well, but nothing you can use. So the more legendaries enemies you have, the more chance of legendary loot you have. So actually the game is rewarding for playing higher difficulty. I recently switched. I played on normal because normal, and now I'm just, yeah, the fight on normal is way boring. There's nothing challenging in there, sorry. So playing hard is more challenging and interesting and gives more awesome loot. Hell to the yes. Last but not least, we have point number 30, and that is mod until you break it. Of course, this is a Bethesda game. I'll show you one mod. I have 8 or something. Nothing that basically is considered cheating, but the same speed, for example, sitting in pilot seat is double or triple the time. Otherwise, it's painful when you need it. Sometimes you need a landing and all that's removed. But most important, you already seen, is, for example, the same damage, DPS, mass, value, all those criteria. And of course, you can also open resources. So everything that is crafted this is, I don't know, resources, this is the minerals, this is gas, and this is liquid. All that and putting together and immensely. This is absolutely amazing. There are a lot of amazing mods. If you're not modding this game itself is quite crappy, especially from user interface and experience. Absolutely nightmare. All these animations that the slowly pulling up, the doors opening too slowly, it's just everything here is basically bad. So absolutely mod it. And those who are playing on consoles, of course, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, but this game unmodded is quite painful. All right, and I need to just briefly mention, spoiler alert, if you haven't, was no spoilers so far, so feel free to jump off. I am going to name three things I just realized I need to include because my brother was also missing them. So I am talking about the thing why I advised to progress the game until into the what was the title of this main quest, into the unknown. So spoilers alert ahead, go away if you don't want to see any of that, because it's important. Three quick points I am going to mention. Air is imbalanced. What I mean by that is when you open up and you find some things like this, I have it all the time equipped. I think I can demonstrate. Can I demonstrate? Yes, take all. Yes, you see? So when you have a lot of items on yourself, I'll try to run around. You see, you can't run for a while. You see, I am out of oxygen. What happens when you use the ability? Not only it refills for 20 seconds, 15 seconds, you have it basically unlimited, which means you can carry around a lot of items. A lot of items without the problem. And you see now the effect wears off. I'm again running around using my oxygen. You know what? Look at I'm in front of it so you can see, but basically about the same time I can use it again. So indefinite amount of running, even these tons of items on you, yes, this is possible, and that's why it's game changer. That's why you absolutely need to abuse these powers. Next power is definitely must disable. If you haven't seen, it's quite early, you can get it. It's anti-gravity field is the first one. All right, I found them. So look at these enemies. They are all pretty nasty. They can easily kill me. What if I absolutely disable all of them? You see, in this field, none of them can do anything. And while I can't kill them all, you see, not only I can damage... Ooh, that's some crazy... That's a lot of crazy lizards. But the thing is, it's absolutely amazing. Oh, it's not reset yet. But they definitely will kill me now. Nope, not. Because I am disabling them again and I can just kill them. So that's how absolutely amazing it is. And the last thing, I need to get back to the city. I'll show you. Wait a second. I don't need to get back to the city. So mind reading. So what you might be thinking, there is this one power that also is precognition. It shows where enemy is going, which is cool, but that's not what it's meant to. It is meant for this. I can show you, for example, on my own companions and use it because you want to get, on your good side. So what it does, whatever I'm going to say, it shows me one first line how they will respond. For example, if I'm going to say something and I read, yeah, but I'm not, they are defensive, that means we are not connecting. There's always one of the options where you say and they're like, thank you for saying that, or amazing, or not only your competence, any dialogue option, only not persuasion when you need to persuade someone that doesn't work, but all other cases when you need to solve and basically you're going through the minefield, pop up this ability before, and I don't know how to handle that saving and loading when you hit something where suddenly other person shuts down. Yeah, it's a game. It's a game. You use your powers, you get everything you can have out of it. So yes, these powers are useful. That's what I'm trying to say. And yes, there are a lot more things I want to cover, but the video is already too long. Sorry for that. I'm shutting up, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned or found something new. If you have any questions, ask. I'm here. I'm playing heavily so I can get all the answers for you guys. Otherwise, yeah, I'm heading back and trying to find what else I can show. Next video will be about the talents, because there is a really tough case around and about the talents, and I'll try to cover it in depth. Otherwise, yeah, and also probably show the power leveling. Otherwise, yeah. And thanks for watching. We'll meet in those other videos and in the comment section as always. Cheers.